Let's talk more about the Makudumana case. Bringing Home Affairs Minister Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, the department was cited as a respondent in this matter. A very good evening to you, Minister. Grateful for your time. So news in the last hour or so is that Makudumana's legal team has now confirmed an intention to appeal today's court ruling, and they believe another court could reach a different conclusion. How do you react?
Good afternoon, Tembeki. Good evening, and good evening to the viewers and listeners out there. I'm sure you are aware that those are normal court processes. People do go to court. If they are not satisfied about the outcome, they appeal to the Supreme Court, right up to the Supreme Court of Appeal or to the Constitutional Court. We regard that as happening in the normal course of events. It happens all the time in South Africa, and we are very much used to that in the Department of Home Affairs.
Mm-hmm. Well, according to a report that I'm looking at now by the team at Jacaranda or Jack News, they say that Makudumana's legal team has said that they'll be appealing the judgment on the issue around perceived consent, which was key to what the judge said today, that yes, what happened in the process from Tanzania, according to the judge, was indeed extradition disguised as deportation, but he found against Makudumana because she had agreed to be brought back home. Are you not worried that, in fact, another court may disagree with what the High Court has found on the issue of consent, her agreeing to come back home?
Well, that's why I'm saying whatever happened today and whatever is going to happen happens in the normal course of event of litigation in South Africa. And all we'll have to do is to defend our case as we defended ourselves this time around. And let me just correct Mbegile. When you said Home Affairs was cited, remember we had to fight to be cited. We were left out.
Correct, yes.
Despite
right.
the fact that despite the fact that we are the ones who took who took them from Tanzania. We were not cited. We had to fight for our place, and the judge, the day of the court has to be postponed in order to accommodate us. I just thought I needed to correct that. But be that as it may, we will defend anything that comes our way.
And just in terms of that technicality, that even the High Court has said that this was an extradition disguised as deportation, why couldn't a different process have been followed?
Well, Tembekile, we did what we did under the circumstances, believing we are following the law. We never went out and say, now we want to break the law. But we followed what we thought was the right processes to follow. But we think such technicalities in law must best be left to the courts of law and to the lawyers. And all we can say as Home Affairs at this moment in time is that we are very happy about the outcome because we did what we did under those circumstances, and we didn't really go out and say we are breaking the law here. So if there are legal technicalities, let's leave them to the judges and the lawyers in court. Let them battle it out. But if we are taken to court again in the form of an appeal, we'll definitely defend.
Would I be right, Dr. Motsoaledi, to say that at the point where the decisions were being made, before we ultimately got to this legal chapter in the saga, that basically at that point it was a matter of the ends justifying the means, given what had already unfolded around Makudumana and Bester? Am I right?
No, you're not.
Okay.
As I am saying, in our understanding at Home Affairs, we did what we believe is done under similar circumstances. We were informed by our High Commission that the Tanzanians have declared them prohibited immigrants in Tanzania, and they want them out of the country, and they want them deported back to their country of origin, which is South Africa. And they further said they won't hand them over to police who were already there. They'll only hand them over to immigration officials. And immigration officials is us in Home Affairs. So we had to hire a chartered flight and go there and followed what we believed are the right processes.
Right. So as far as this case is concerned, let's say if an appeal by Makudumana was successful, are you able to give us an idea of how that would then influence? I know, yes, the law enforcement authorities want to keep Makudumana in custody. They want her to face prosecution. But what would that mean for Home Affairs processes, for example? Would she be able to get her passport back, etc., or would that be left to the legal sides to argue if she was successful?
Well, we have not yet taken her passport. As you are aware, we declared the intention to do so, and we are still going to do so, and we believe the outcome of this case have got nothing to do with the reasons behind which we wanted to take back the passport.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask your indulgence, Minister, on another issue? I'm sure you've seen the headlines from the weekend gaining momentum, a conversation once more around the ZEPs. They're due to expire at the end of this month. What is the latest you're hearing from officials about processes around how many people have been successful in finding means to stay in South Africa and how many at this stage look likely to set out to go home or go elsewhere?
Well, look, I've answered this question many times, Tembekile, that there are people who are making conclusions and they want us to comment about those conclusions which were made by them, which are not conclusions based on what we wanted to achieve. I said there are two processes that we are following here. When we took a decision to end the ZEP and we gave very good reasons, we never concluded at any time and announced that somebody is going to go home, because that matter is not in our hands, it's in the hands of the people who are affected, whether they want to do that or not. All we're saying is that we are bringing an end to the ZEP and we want people to apply for regular visas, 17 of them, which are applied for by any other person who is sojourning in South Africa, including, by the way, Zimbabweans who are not on ZEP. That's all we said. But in order to aid that process, we started two processes. Number one, that we are asking them to apply for a waiver so that they no longer have to go to the Department of Labor, as is normal practice for those who want general work visas. Secondly, that some visas want you to leave the country and go to apply from outside the country. And for that reason, we said we also need to give waivers because they are already here. Then thereafter, once the waivers have been issued, a person can apply for the type of visa which they want to apply for.
Right.
And I said I have been signing those waivers. I've been signing them almost every day. Thousands and thousands of waivers. I put my own signature there to give those waivers and so that they've got the right to apply for visas. That's the process we are following. We never stop that process because it's a court case. We have been going on with it. At no stage has it started until maybe if a court of law tells us stop, this process is illegal, then we'll stop. Up to so far, we are following that process.
How many waivers, Minister, if you're able to tell us, are signed at the moment?
No. I'm not able to tell you so because we have not yet audited the final figure. All I'm saying is I'm signing thousands of them every single day.
All right, Home Affairs Minister, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much for your time tonight.